recording now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to this event, very special event, Building Bridges of Emotion, a global discussion on artificial and emotional intelligence. Is it possible to build bridges between artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence? Well, my name is Priya Patra. I am the lead Women PowerUp Network, and we have our leads on the call today. Cecilia, our Latin America lead. Cecilia, would you want to say hi
Hello,
to
everyone. Thank you, Priya. Hello, everyone. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I hope you enjoy the boreal hour yesterday night. It was wonderful in many places of the world. I couldn't see it directly, but I saw many great pictures. I hope you enjoy.
And we also do have Grace Johnson, our Africa region lead, on the call. Grace.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be joining again. Well done, ladies.
Thank you, Grace. It's always lovely to see you and hear your voice. And we also do have Andrea. She is our We Mentor lead. Andrea, you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry I can't be on camera. I'm having some technical issues with my internet.
Oh, okay. No problem, Andrea. We would have loved to see you as well from the sunny Bahamas, but yeah. Okay. So please say hi to each other and let us know from where you have joined in today. The Menti code is on the screen, as well as Cecilia has put that in the chat window. So please let us know from where you have joined in today. Some housekeeping rules. We are all here to celebrate women leadership. That doesn't mean the men are not welcome. Definitely men are welcome. We are all speaking on our individual capacity. Our views expressed here do not anyway represent the organization that we work for. This meeting has been recorded, as you might have already guessed. If you are uncomfortable in any ways, please feel free to hop off, or you're welcome to join our celebration. So before we get started, we always talk about our community, the network Women Power Up community, the community update. And we always remind ourselves about our mission, vision, and values. We were incepted on January 26, 2020, just before the lockdown. And although we started as local, community, but then we saw that, yeah, the world was vast and it was without boundaries. It was virtual. So we quickly pivoted to become a virtual community. And we are not a business, but with a community with a purpose. We have around, say, 919 members across the globe, and that is pretty cool. Our vision is to empower everyone, men, women, with the right support, the skill to transform the future. And we hope we would be able to do that someday. And right now, we are providing this platform to enhance our leadership qualities. We truly believe being good enough is amazing, and we really don't need to be an expert to power each other up. And that's why when such good enough people come together, we definitely power each other up. And together we rise. So these are our values, and this event is possible only because of the support of so many people who are behind us. Lee Lambert is one of our biggest supporter, and he is our mentor as well. He's there on the call. He invariably attends all our events, and thank you, Lee, for that unwavering support. We also do have the following supporters, that is Agnostic Agile, Agile in Education USA, Scrum Day London, IAPM, and a couple of PMI chapters, PMI Slovenia, PMI Buenos Aires, Argentina, and we have lots of registration from Argentina for this session. We are PMI officers, and our technology partner and sponsor for this platform is We Are Ready Now. Please do visit their site, which I will request Cecilia to put on the chat window. And if you can, do visit their site. They do pretty cool things with AR and VR. So that will be pretty cool. A recap on the focus of this year, 2024. The theme of this year is Power of One, and which meant that we intend to take up some collaborative projects. And one of such project is writing a collaborative article every month, and where we delve into the synergy between AI and the leadership dimensions in the age of AI. And we started this in March. The first article was AI and DNEI, which is right here. And the second one was on sustainability, how AI can enhance sustainability. And the third one, which was published this month, was emotional intelligence in the age of automation, leveraging AI for human-centric leadership. And the panel discussion which will follow now will be about the insights of this article. What is a call to action? What we have found across continents, and our esteemed panelists are already there on the call. And our June article will be on AI and cultural intelligence. And do keep watching our social media handles for more. If you want to be part of this collaborative articles, and we are always looking for co-authors, mentors from across the globe. So if you really want to become part of this initiative, there is a link to express interest, and I will again ask Cecilia to post that on the chat window if she can. Otherwise, I will do after I stop sharing the screen. And it is time to introduce one of our newest members of the team, and she is Gabriela Batista Castro. So far you have seen beautiful visual recordings by our Fanny, but Fanny unfortunately is quite busy and is not able to put in time. So we have requested Gabriela to help us with the visual recording. And if Gabriela is there on the call, would you want to say hi to everyone? Gabriela, are you there? Well, I don't see her as such, but I'm sure that when she joins, she can talk about herself. And of course, you will see her work. It's just amazing. So with this, I hand the stage over to Cecilia to introduce the moderator of the day, Carol. Cecilia, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Priya. Please let me introduce Carol, our moderator of today's session. Carol is on top 100 Career Women in Africa 2023. Wow, congratulations, Carol. LinkedIn Community Top Voice, Organizational Culture Change Specialist, Director, Not Profit, Digital Strategy, Conference Speaker, Enterprise Agile Coach, and a Digital Transformation Expert. Now over to Carol to take the discussion forward. I will share with you the LinkedIn, Carol's LinkedIn, to connect with her.
Thank you so much, Cecilia, for that amazing introduction, and Priya as well. Hello, everyone from whatever part of the world you're joining from today. I'll bring you greetings from Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria is very sunny today. And it's afternoon in Nigeria. So you're all welcome to this global discussion on building bridges of emotion and on artificial and emotional intelligence. As Priya has rightly said, it was our honor to be part of the contributors to this body of work. The Women PowerUp has done an amazing job talking on different discussions and how AI is impacting us, you know, in sustainability, in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And now we move to emotional intelligence. So to do justice to this panel discussion today, I'd like to introduce our mentor and our panelists. I'll call their names so they can introduce themselves while on the call. So I'll first start with our mentor, Henrique Mariano. Henrique, please introduce yourself.
Just say hello. Congratulations for the initiative. It's fantastic the opportunity to talk about it, and especially the opportunity to share some point of view, especially to help the woman of all the world, as I say, to can fly without limits. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henrique. Henrique was very, very supportive throughout this whole process. Thank you so much. So I'll also give the floor to Jody O. I'm not sure she's on the call. Has she joined yet, Priya? Okay, I'm not sure she joined yet, but Jody is our contributor from Asia. When she joins later on, I'll introduce her. Next, I'll give the mic to Sandra Hussein. Sandra is our contributor from North America. Sandra, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hi, Sandra.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sandra Hussein, and I'm a proud member of the We PowerUp Network. I actually was featured in the Spotlight series in 2021, supported by Priya. So I am a certified Scrum Master, and I'm a subject matter expert in project management as well. And I also am certified in Scale 6.0. And so I'm really glad to be here and to discuss, the article too.
Thank you, Sandra. Nice to meet you again. All right, so I'll introduce our contributor from Europe. Her name is Agnieszka Kroguleg. Agnieszka, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Thank you, Carol, and hello, everyone. I'm happy to join this initiative for the first time and just to give my input to the article. So it was just a great cooperation. And I'm from Poland, and I'm the experienced PMO manager and project and change manager. And by passion, I'm also the mentor, coach, and business trainer. And currently, I'm the manager of the group PMO in a big corporation and responsible for part of international team of project managers in Poland. And I'm active member and a volunteer of PMI. I am past president of PMI Poland chapter. And currently, I'm playing the global role in PMI and the ethics review committee member. Thank you. I'm happy to join and welcome to everyone.
Welcome to you as well. Thank you so much. And Veronica Morales will be up next. She's our contributor from Latin America. Veronica, please introduce yourself. Hi.
Yes. Hi, Carol. Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you.
It's such a pleasure to be with you today. It has been such a pleasure to work with all of you all this month. My name is Veronica Morales. I am from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I am a psychologist, and I work as a consultant for organizations with focus on diversity, inclusion, and well-being. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you to our panelists for joining us today. And we're going to have a very enlightening conversation about emotional intelligence in the age of automation. We all know automation is everywhere. That's the buzzword, right? How do we leverage AI for human-centric leadership using emotional intelligence? So I'll start, first of all, with a question to Veronica. It's around the human edge in creativity. So, so this article highlights human emotional intelligence. And we say that it's very superior, emotional intelligence is still superior in terms of creativity, problem solving, and navigating the way we manage our emotional responses. Can you elaborate on some of the limitations of AI in those aspects that I mentioned from your findings?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the question, Carol. Well, you see, artificial intelligence is the first kind of intelligence comparable to human intelligence that has reached impressive developments in some of the ways that human intelligence expresses itself. Yeah, so we have impressive development in the areas of logical, mathematical, or linguistic intelligence. In the case of emotional intelligence, there are certain characteristics of AI that play as limitations, unless till now. One of them had to do with the fact that artificial intelligence doesn't have consciousness. Yes, it's not self-aware of itself, and that consciousness is a very important element in order to people to connect with ourselves, with our world, with other person. Yes, and artificial intelligence doesn't have it. Robot doesn't have it. Algorithm doesn't have self-consciousness. They can speak about themselves. Yes, they can give characteristics of themselves, but it's not the same as having a consciousness. So that's the first limitation. And there is another big limitation that had to do with the characteristic of emotions, because emotions are very complex, subjective responses that we have with ourselves and with the world. Yeah. And they are hard for algorithms to capture and to interpret them correctly. Okay, so in those situations that you mentioned, for instance, a conflict situation, it is hard for algorithms to capture and understand all the personality aspects and all the emotions that are put into in the play. So in those kinds of situations, human emotional intelligence can give better answers than artificial intelligence.
Thank you so much for explaining that. I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, just looking at the way I'm holding my chin now, right? If you train an AI to look at it this way, they may think they may read so many things into the expression, but another person looking at me may say, okay, this person is being thoughtful or listening attentively. How does an AI actually identify such emotions? I don't know if any of the other panelists would like to add to that point, or we can move to the next question. Okay, Erica says okay. All right, awesome. That's a good way to start. So let me, this next question is going to all of us generally. It says, we explored the similarities between AI and EI. Can you share some of the key areas where you found the closest parallels? What are the areas that we felt, there were so many similarities?
Yes, fantastic question. Thank you very much, Carol, for this, because that you can consider many items of this comparison of both and similarities. For instance, the learning and adaptation. We do too much more about it when we are thinking about emotional intelligence, but the artificial intelligence too, the learn and adaptation is very important. The other part is the pattern recognition, because when we think about emotion, we try to understand some the acts, the movement, behavior of persons to identify what's the best identification of the emotion. It's the same for the artificial intelligence when try to define these patterns, identify this kind of recognition. The other part is decision making, when thinking that the process will decide with the emotion, but the artificial intelligence use technicals, the similar technicals to do these decisions. And then of the communication, because we need to communicate the emotion, and the artificial intelligence try to do the same way of this kind of communications. Obviously that is a little different, but is very similarity. This is the point that it's interesting to discuss here. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Enrique. Does anybody else want to add to that point?
I would say that based on our article that we started thinking about some interaction between AI and emotional intelligence, that we need both of them. From personally, from my side, I would say that I need this empathy. I need to understand my emotions for the better life. But I also need artificial intelligence to support me and as Henrik mentioned about the decision making, or just to use some models for better life, I would say, on a daily basis, just to get some data and just to help me to make a better decision for a living, I would say.
Thank you, Agnieszka. And I think, that leads us into the next point. But just to highlight what you had all said, AI helps us to enhance our understanding of maybe our emotions and also the emotions of other people. So that sort of helps us in terms of decision making, as Henrique said, and communicating. Because once I'm able to understand better what people are saying, I can easily, work with them to arrive at a decision that is favorable to everybody else. And AI helps us to enhance that. Those are some of the similarities that we found. Did somebody else want to say something before I move? Can I get that? Okay. Awesome. And I think that leads us directly to our next question, also my next question, because in the article we talked about 3 dimensions of EI. So we have intrapersonal, so that's examining yourself or understanding your emotion. Interpersonal, where you understand the emotions of others, and social awareness, where you're able to interact, with people around you and just understanding, communal emotions, or being able to read a room or interact with people in appropriate ways. So in what dimension do you believe AI has had the most significant impact on improving any of these 3 areas?
This is a good question, because it's a challenge to believe what's the most impact, because you think that's interpersonal, that is the point when you think about that internal side, that is very internal of the persons, the interpersonal, that you think that's the relation of these persons, and the social awareness, the connection with the other parts, and especially for the ethics and kind of relation. In my point of view, it's about the interpersonal, is the middle, because you can influence more using the AI, especially to connect with the base of this article, that the development of the emotional intelligence using artificial intelligence. The people think too much more about use AI, artificial intelligence, to discover or to identify the human emotion. But we believe that you can change and do in another way. For instance, I don't know, persons that don't have kids, for instance, or children that had some doubt about some emotions or difficult to explore these emotions, can use artificial intelligence to develop this emotion. And in my point of view, this is one specific point that you can improve too much more using the artificial intelligence to develop the emotion intelligence. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Okay. Any other contributions?
And based on what was said by Henrik, I would also say that this interpersonal part is very important, especially when we see the virtual assistants or chatbots, which are equipped with emotional intelligence capabilities. Can just help us in this empathetic conversations, and they can maybe offer some kind of, I don't know, support or guidance to users in various contexts. And I think it's very important. And also you mentioned, Carol, about this intrapersonal dimension. And I would say that AI, which, for example, facilitate this self-awareness and self-regulation, could be also very helpful. And all this, I suppose, like AI-driven tools like mood tracking applications or maybe virtual coaches can help individuals better understand and manage their emotions. So we can, what was mentioned by Henrik, that we can understand better ourselves, and we can use some additional AI systems just to provide additional insight into our emotions or into our emotional triggers, and how to be a better person, or how to self-improve, or how to have more resilience to life using some AI systems, I would say.
Very insightful. Veronica, yeah, you wanted to add
Yeah,
something?
I remember listening to Agnieszka. I remember an investigation. It was made in Mexico. They were investigating the university. They were investigating the use of ChatGPT in students. Yeah, and they found out that students said that they felt better students using ChatGPT because they had such an offer of information that gave them strength, confidence. It helped them to feel confident in themselves, and so the conclusion was that they felt better students and better persons. Yes, and I found it very interesting because I used to think that the most privileged reason was the interpersonal relationship, but I think that's a good example of how intrapersonal relation is also very reached by AI.
And sometimes, you know, when using ChatGPT, I have an impression that I'm just talking to the machine. But sometimes with my colleagues, we are playing some games and
Yeah.
putting some questions and just think or waiting for the answers. Is it just the same answer what we are using as we are discussing, or is it something different, or just to have some inspirations for thinking if you have if you need to deal with difficult emotions, especially.
Mm. It's really interesting how it can be used, and just, to your point as well, how students felt they could do better, at their schoolwork using generative AI, but in the former ways of thinking, using something like that would have considered it as maybe cheating or giving someone else an undue advantage. But we're learning that, it's to support and enable and make work better for everyone, and also make our interactions a bit better too. Wonderful, great stuff. All right, so I'll just share a little bit about we'll be going right now into focusing on regional findings. So what we have, as we said, we had contributors from different regions. So each of us are just going to talk a little bit about what we found as key highlights, in our research, and what's happening in our regions. So I'll just speak to mine first, which is around Africa. And we found out that there were certain challenges around AI development in Africa. So in summary, AI development in Africa is still at its nascent stage. So there are quite a lot of information, data sets available, but they're not harnessed or put together, in a coordinated manner and in a way where you can drive insight easily. So a lot of the work that has happened so far in Africa is focused on trying to get all that research in, creating policies that will guide how AI will be used responsibly, collecting data in the right manner, in an ethical manner, and also designing algorithms. So some of the challenges we discovered, in the research is, there are some limited data sets that speak to the African context. So you have a lot of the data sets and data mining tools being built from different perspectives that, sometimes totally ignore that African context, and the algorithms are built around that. And the risk with that is the fact that it can, inadvertently exclude some key information that should be, brought into the design of the algorithm, really. And the algorithms need to be trained in some ways with some knowledge of the African context so that it can be much more enriching and less exclusive. We also discovered that there are some weak or non-existent policies around how data is governed in a lot of African countries. The good thing about it is that a lot of African countries have started to create their AI policies and also started to push aggressively, both publicly and within the public and private sector. There's a lot of partnerships to try and see how they can improve that, right? And introduce more human-centered design into some of the learning solutions that are being created. So an example of one of such tools is called Rory. So Rory is a tool that is used by students in Africa to learn, subjects. It's a WhatsApp-based tool, so it's used to learn subjects, and using that tool, they're able to. The tool gives them, there's like a mini chatbot, so it gives them answers to questions, and is able to teach them in their own native languages. So some areas or aspects where I think that AI and emotional intelligence can enhance, the way all those solutions are being built is, just bringing in our linguistic diversity. So Africa, as we know, has about 20,000 different languages, right? There are some people that are excluded and can't even learn because those languages are not, information is not available in their language. So emotional intelligence and AI can help to bridge those gaps, right? And enhance, the dynamism in the way people learn. It can also help with understanding of emotional nuances. So as we know, African culture is very big on community and communal living. How do we use emotional intelligence to, drive those conversations, guide the way people interact with each other? Those are things that, or aspects where AI can, and emotional intelligence can really make a huge, huge difference. And I think the last thing for me is also around citizen orientation around unity. So historically, in Africa, there have been so many instances, in the past of intolerance, ethnic conflict, racial violence, examples in Rwanda, even in my own country, Nigeria, many years back. So, and at the core of all of this is that lack of understanding and people not even being able to, accept each other, so how can bringing in emotional intelligence and AI into play in some of the tools that we use for financial inclusion or for education, help to train and orient people the right way to be much more self-aware. As we said, we've spoken about managing our emotions and also manage the emotions of others so that it doesn't degenerate into ethnic conflict and racial violence. So those are some of the highlights I think that are pertinent to note from the African region and from what was discovered in the research. So I would move to Agnieszka to talk to us about Europe. Europe seems to be leading a whole lot in AI and EI research. I'm hoping you could share with us some of your findings from the European region.
Yes, sure, Carol. I would share some specifics for Europe. But in Europe, the integration of artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, of course, follows the global trends. But there are also some specific considerations and initiatives tailored to the region's cultural, regulatory, and societal landscape. I would like to focus on some key points. And first point is regulatory frameworks. Because European Union, Carlos, as you mentioned, has been very proactive in establishing regulations and guidelines for AI development and deployment. And first, I would like to focus on GDPR. So this is General Data Protection Regulation, and it sets strict rules for data privacy and protection. And of course, it impacts the collection and use of emotional data in AI systems. And additionally to this, European Commission released the AI Act in 2021, aiming to regulate AI systems development and use. And what is important that it was the first binding worldwide horizontal regulation on AI, and it sets a common framework for European Union for the use and supply of AI system in the European Union. And it offers a classification for AI systems with different requirements and obligations tailored on a risk-based approach. So there was some high AIs with high risks or very high risk, which was banned, and some if the system was classified as a high risk, so there were additional obligations to follow just to confirm that such an AI system could be used. And European Union lawmakers reached a political agreement on a draft Artificial Intelligence Act at the end of 2023. And it's still under investigation, and there are still a lot of discussion regarding the framework. And I mean the framework. I mean that the regulations on AI. And the second point, which is very important for Europe, is ethical AI. Europe promote the responsible and ethical use of AI. And European institutions and organizations prioritize the development of AI systems that, I would say, adhere to ethical principles. And for example, the European Commission's organize high-level expert group on AI ethics, and they prepare a lot of documents, and main document was ethics guidelines for trustworthy AI, which emphasize the importance of transparency, accountability, fairness, and human oversight. So this is, you see that this is the very focus on this ethical approach to AI. And what is also important is the top priority is the data privacy and security, of course, for Europe, when we were talking about this GDPR. And the AI systems incorporating emotional intelligence must comply with, I would say, stringent data protection and data protection regulations. This is very important that we need to be sure that all personal emotional data are handled responsibly and transparently. So these are the 3 points. And of course, in Europe, we also focus a lot on research and innovation on AI and emotional intelligence. For example, there was a project called Human Brain Project, which focused on maybe not directly on emotional intelligence, but focus on understanding human cognition and emotion, which can inform, which can just support the development of AI systems with better emotional intelligence capabilities. And Europe is very diverse with a lot of countries and different culture. So there is also the focus on an AI system which need to be culturally sensitive and adaptable to effectively understand and respond to emotional cues in different contexts. And we also invest in Europe a lot into application and for healthcare and well-being, because it's important to support mental health and elderly care and personal medicine. So this is just some focus on projects. And it's also important industry partnership that I would say that European business collaborates with academia and research institutions to develop AI solutions with emotional intelligence capabilities. So some startups and technology companies focus on sectors like customer service, education, or entertainment, where emotional interactions is, I would say, crucial for user engagement. So we also promote collaboration between computer scientists and psychologists and different experts for just holistic approach to AI, and it also includes emotional intelligence element. But all in all, the most important is ethical approach and data privacy and security. So this is just from a short summary from Europe approach.
Thank you so much, Adiska. And I think, it's clear from what you said that a lot of work is being done around policy development, making sure that data is used responsibly, and obviously how you can responsibly incorporate emotional data, right, into into AI. Very interesting work that's going on in Europe, and thank you for sharing this insight with us. So I'll move to Sandra to just share us a little bit about what's happening in North America.
So, with regards to North America, the public's perception of AI between 2021 and 2023, as more and more people learned about AI, Americans were gaining more confidence in AI. But at the same time, it has been weakly favored in research between 2021 and 2023. The AI market size has been growing year after year globally. The AI market size, it's been in 2022, it's been over 100 billion, and in 2023, it's been over 200 billion. And it's been projected in about 8 years to reach over 600 billion. China and North America will be gaining the most economically, totaling over 100 trillion in 2030 when it comes to AI and emotional intelligence. AI has disrupted various industries, but dominates the chip market and the healthcare industry the most when it comes to AI and emotional intelligence. Businesses are using AI as a competitive advantage, and it's likely to drive significant economic disruption when it comes to trade coupled with technology, emotional intelligence, and modern digital operation. Also, policies and regulations should be used to promote ethical use of AI, to minimize the unintended biases and ensure transparency and protect privacy. Continuous research and development should be considered while AI continues to grow and evolve, to minimize the unintended biases and such. So
Thank you
that's
so much,
part of
Sandra.
North America.
Yes, and I think where you touched on a major point, which really impacts every aspect of AI, which is trust. Just like Veronica mentioned, with students, they're learning to trust AI a bit more, and that's why they say maybe it's enhancing the quality of their work. And you mentioned the issue of trust in North America. So I guess as more people get familiar with AI, they can trust that it's used responsibly. Then it's easier to layer in emotional data into it and be sure that it's going to be used responsibly as well. Because as we go along in this webinar, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the cases where we see, some challenges with the way emotional data is being used, things like deepfake and the like. And there are concerns around that because you don't want to expose your emotional data in a way that will be used against you for negative things. So awesome. I like some of the insights you shared. Thank you so much. Veronica, I think we'll go to you next.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, in order to complement the presentations of my colleagues, because some applications are on the same sense, but here in the region we have some particularities, so I'll try to present an example that I think that complements the vision. And Latin America is a region of profound inequalities, yes. And one of the main concerns of the governments and international organizations about technology in general and about artificial intelligence in particular is how to move forward in such a way that the serious existing gaps are not deepened, but rather serve to support the sectors of the populations that need it most. So there are some applications that are nowadays in actions in different countries that try to attend different problems that are in the social and the political agenda. And I found a very interesting program that tries to deal with the problem that we have in the region, that is the high rate of scholar dropout, yes? Children and teenagers drop school in a very high rate in the region, about 35%. And it's the main cause of risk and poverty in that population. So there is a program that is taking place in different countries that use the huge predictive capacity of artificial intelligence in order to predict the risk of dropout the school from children and teenagers. And it's interesting because it gives teachers and tutors tools in order to help those students to keep attached to their studies and encourage children and teenagers to continue their studies with their academic contents, but also emotionally. Yeah, I think it's a good example of how artificial intelligence helps, in this case, students. And it attends a particular issue of our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. And that's there is how, I guess all the countries should be thinking. How we use emotional intelligence and AI to solve, societal problems or to deal with societal challenges. So sort of like you mentioned, the dropout rate, the high dropout rate, 35%, and it'd be interesting to see how that is helping to solve those issues in Latin America. I'll encourage everyone to, read, spend some time going through the article. There are a lot more insights there. We can't cover every single one within the short time that we have, but we try as much as we can to touch on the main things. So one of our panelists, Judy, couldn't join us today. She did the research on Asia, but Priya has graciously accepted to help us just summarize her findings as well. So I'll just allow Priya to please speak on that for a few minutes.
Sure. So thank you, Carol. And of course, we are missing Jody. I tried to see whether she could join for a few minutes, but looks like no. Asia, like all other regions, there is a great recognition for the benefits of AI across industries, even in India. There are concerns about, jobs getting displaced, but of course, there is a lot of acknowledgement about the potential that AI can bring to us. Their emotional intelligence specifically is a big value in the Asian region, because interpersonal relationships are very, very, and harmony is very, very highly valued in this region. And this research, of course, is done by Jyoti. And in some cases, however, in the technical field, etc., we see that maybe they are not giving so much importance to EI, but it is an ingrained value in the Asian society. The interest of the intersection of AI and EI is definitely growing in this region. We have seen situations, or we have seen applications and projects where AI can recognize someone's emotion, someone's interest, and also simulate human emotions. So AI is being seen as a tool to enhance emotional intelligence, because it can detect the emotion of the other party and then enable you to alter your behavior accordingly. It also can give you personalized feedback as to how you need to act in certain situation, right? And that's how you come to know about your blind spots, and that's the way you become more emotionally intelligent. Specifically for Malaysia, she did do some research, and she did point out the fact that Malaysia is a country where there is a diverse and rapidly developing, is a diverse and a rapidly developing country, and therefore AI and EI becomes very, very important, as there are many ethnic groups, industries, socio-economic backgrounds, all working in harmony in this country. And hence, it plays an important role in shaping the perceptions and the relationship between AI and EI. Over to you, Carol. And if there is someone from Malaysia, I would request them also to add your thoughts on the chat window, and, kind of share your questions for our panelists.
All right, thank you so much, Priya, for helping with that. And very interesting insights from Malaysia, and what's happening in Asia in general. Just to touch on what you were saying about trust again, I think Sandra also mentioned that in her presentation, and that came through also in the voice of the community, the survey that was shared, done by Judy, for Malaysian respondents, and a lot of them were saying that, a lot of them had the trust in AI technologies is growing, but some are still neutral about it. And the main concern there is cultural sensitivity, right? So I think a huge concern is, how is emotional data going to be used, right? In developing these AI modules, are they going to ensure that they're used ethically? How is it going to accurately reflect the sensitivities of our culture, the nuances of our culture, and also help us with, displaying the right type of human emotions that would enable connections to be easier. So, those are part of the things that came through from that study. And, I think it would be interesting to see how developments in the different regions go over time, and how all those things are brought into play with the development of new AI solutions that are coming up in going forward. So thank you for that. I will just take a pause at this point to see if there are any questions for us on the chat group yet. I don't know if there are any questions as yet, or if we should continue.
I don't see any, so I think we should continue with what we have.
Okay, great
I
stuff.
really encourage everyone to, post your questions for our panelists here on the chat window.
Okay, thank you, Freya. All right, so I think, oh yeah, and that is the next thing we're going to talk about, trust in AI. How do we build trust in AI with EI? How can we integrate EI principles in a way that makes AI more trusting? I don't know if any of the panelists want to contribute to that point. How can integrating EI principles facilitate a more trusting relationship between humans and AI?
Well, I think that and one important thing is to make the distinction between what we think AI is and what it actually is. Yes, we have an idea of Hollywood artificial intelligence, and another thing is the fact. And so I think that the first thing we must do is learn about it and get good information about it. That's from the part of the users. And of course, it's important, I think, that companies, developers, are clear about the information they use, the sources they use, and how they manage that information. And I think we as users have the right to know about it. That's my point of view.
I love
Thank
this
you.
comparison for artificial intelligence as a Hollywood. Whenever you think about AI, you think that it's covered everything, whatever you imagine. And
Right.
especially if we are talking about adoption of AI, and of course, after just ChatGPT and all of this general AI solutions, and we have a lot of application every month. And it's very important for me just to have the right data inside and to protect our privacy and security. And of course, we can use emotional intelligence to improve the model. I mean, all those algorithms, but we need to fill the model with the right data and train the models just to have the better solutions, I would say, or the better. Even I don't know how to explain it. That's if we want to trust AI, we need to use different applications or different systems, and to compare it with some research or some expert, or let the people check the analysis which are produced by AI, just to be sure that we can trust the models, not just look into ChatGPT and treat it as the only truth, but check different models and different systems, and also to protect ourselves in terms of emotions, for example, because it's also very very valid for me. And I suppose that AI can help us to better understand humans, because they can use a lot of data at once, and then to give us more information for us to better understand human behavior and emotions as well. At least I think so.
Carol, there is a question for Agnieszka on the chat.
Okay, I just saw it. Okay, okay, let me take
Oh.
that. So, Agnieszka, you mentioned an app for good tracking. Could you please share its name? Or mood tracking, rather.
Good tracking. I'm sorry, I do not remember the name, but I read about that there's an app for tracking the moods and I will check. Because for now, I do not. Sorry, I do not remember the name.
Although thinking about it, I know on Microsoft Teams today, every day it asks a question, maybe sometime at the end of the day to ask, how are you feeling today? It has different emojis and you can actually
Yes.
select which one. Yeah, so I think maybe some of probably different tools are using, some of those things, introducing some of those things into it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
They
Microsoft
definitely
Teams.
they use some algorithms just to talk to us. Yes,
Yeah.
and check our mood. Definitely.
She said she will
Lovely,
ask
Cecilia. Let's
ChatGPT.
ask ChatGPT. Lovely.
Yeah. Some chatbots or the personal assistants. How do you feel today? And can I do something
Exactly.
to make you feel better? So I think that it could be a good solution, just to talk to the chat in the morning and just to have some solutions,
Exactly.
especially if you are a little bit stressed or you are looking for a
Mm,
solution and you do not know what decision you need to take for a challenge, for example. It would be good.
exactly.
There's another question, Carol, on the chat.
Okay, yes, this is from Okwemi. Are there any known AI software or apps available that can genuinely understand emotions from text prompts without any actual visual cues? Hmm.
Mm.
Well, I would say
I
they
would
are
love
working
to
on
know.
it. Okay. Yeah, I'll say they are working on some. I read something recently about a former developer at Meta is creating something that allows him to identify emotions from people's prompts.
Mhm.
So yeah, and so when you put in the prompt, it sort of gives an idea of what the emotion is. But I think there was a finding from Veronica,
Yeah,
something in Latin America. Yeah, Veronica,
yeah.
please. Go
There
ahead.
is actually in Argentina, there is a development that is very interesting. This is a chat, and you have the WhatsApp form too. It's Cux.ai. It's an application that helps people in order to understand their emotions, and it gives no treatment, but some kind of companion. It invites people to speak about the way they feel. It's very interesting. Yeah, maybe you can check it. CUX.
Uh,
I write it in the
Thank you.
I just heard
I'm
about.
looking for the. Okay, go ahead. I can.
I just the I it just came to my mind. It's I remember, but I need to check it about clarify the mainly for image recognition, but it was also recognized as the analyzed text for emotional tone and sentiment. Uh, but that's possible to check further, just to be sure. But definitely there are some applications. So based on the tone of or emotional tone of writing, they can just invent what, just discover our emotions.
Yes, I would say a lot of research is going into that. I'm sure very soon we'll start to see more coming out. Today, as you said, they use AI for sentiment analysis and things like that, looking at consumer behavior to simulate solutions. So I'm sure we'll get to see more of that in the coming months. Thank you so much, Opeyemi, for that question, and thanks, Cecilia. All right, so we are wrapping up now. Just to talk a little bit maybe about maybe one of the benefits to leaders. Let's talk about benefits to leaders. So we've talked about the intersection of AI and EI. What are the benefits that we see between AI and EI that can help us enhance our leadership skills? So that's those two, the panelists.
Yeah. Well, I like to mention one thing about the I mean, the potential of artificial intelligence to increase our emotional intelligence. We all agree that it's vast, it's huge, yes. And some benefits to consider have to do to the way that it enhances meaningful interactions, communications, and collaboration. Okay, I think that is absolutely clear. It also increases self-awareness because it gives real-time feedback, for instance, yes. On the other hand, it increases employee engagement and good relationships with our customers. I think benefits are very, very clear. We have some things to say about challenges too. I think the benefit is something that you can find out at a glance.
Mhm. And also from my side, I would say that it could be support for us for better communication and collaboration. And so maybe AI tools can analyze our communication styles and suggest some improvements in terms of the content or maybe the tone, and just for better understanding of each other or to avoid any misunderstandings or any potential conflicts. So I would imagine that AI could be such a tool to support us in a better communication and collaboration between each other, especially at work.
Awesome. Sandra, do you want to add anything?
No.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose that everybody knows that AI can help us to reduce workload. And so if we will work less, then we have more time on building relationship with our colleagues and customers and potential clients, and just using the AI tool.
Absolutely. I also wanted to use that to just wrap up on that point to say that, as we said in the article, we should lead with data, but decide by the heart. The whole idea is, as Agnesia has just mentioned, leveraging AI to give you insightful feedback that can help to improve your interactions with other people. We started by saying that human connection is important and it remains very key. And even with the best of the improvements we've seen so far, it can't exactly match, or AI is not yet able to exactly match human connection. So that part is there, and we need to leverage AI as much as possible to enhance that human connection, the way we engage each other, building tolerance, improving our interactions with each other, people in our communities, at work, and also coaching as well. How do we leverage AI to give us insights that can help in personalized coaching experiences? And I think the key point is also to embrace AI, continue to upskill and reskill yourself, so you can leverage all the new developments that AI can bring. So I'll just like each of the panelists to just say their final last notes or call to action as we wrap up this session.
Yeah. Well, I like to say that I think we know artificial intelligence has a growth potential that is huge, and sometimes it's also scary. Yes, we found that kind of reaction in people when we talk about this. But let's always remember that we have the element to decide what are we going to do with artificial intelligence, why we do it, and for what are we going to do it? Because artificial intelligence doesn't have emotion, doesn't have a consciousness, but we do. And it's our must to use it in order to make a responsible use of artificial intelligence and to accept that response to our suppliers. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would add that
Agnesia, go ahead.
Veronica, fantastic summary of our discussion regarding that human being is very complex, and we have emotions, and these emotions are very subjective, of course, and our emotions depends on the situation and context, and we use different voice, body language, and we should. I think that we need to focus on our self-understanding of ourselves, of our emotions, and try to find additional AI tool which can help us to be the better human being. Not to be afraid that AI, as Veronica, you mentioned, as a Hollywood solutions for everything. It's not.
Of course. No way.
Definitely, I like this very much. And I think that we need to be ourselves and try to find some AI applications to help us to be the better human being, and think how to cooperate with AI, not to be afraid, but how to use the data-driven approach for better decision making, and how to improve our ability to understand and respond to human emotions, and not to be afraid, but to cooperate with AI for the better future and for our better life, I would say.
Or easier.
Absolutely. Yeah, easier life and better life.
Yeah, easier, better and easier life, definitely. So not to have a lot of overload, and just to have time for taking care of our emotions and taking care of relationship, and for keeping interactions with others. So definitely, so no artificial intelligence systems, nothing will replace human interactions, and just to be in a good relationships.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, whatever technology that comes or is developed both now or ever in the future is always meant to enhance us as human beings, because that was the reason why it was created. So we should never run away from tech. We should, embrace it, understand it, and use it to be better people and to do our work better and be better leaders at that.
And
So
use
on that
all
note, I'll
the
hand
virtual
over.
reality just to simulate some difficult situation, and to practice just to be the better in a normal life when we have some difficult situation. So it would be good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, everyone. I think I would have to hand it back to Priya now because of time. And Cecilia, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, panelists. It's been awesome. All right.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
And Cecilia and Grace have been reviewing the articles and providing their valuable inputs. I would ask Cecilia to say a few words about the article, and also next, after Cecilia, Grace. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Priya. Thank you all the panelists for this wonderful session. I enjoy a lot. I first thought that there are not any connection among AI and EI, and now after the article and after this panel, I think we have a lot of connections. And I recently read a book called Artificial for two Argentinian guys. And they told, I didn't know, but I read that in 1966, an MIT psychologist or psychiatrist, I don't know, developed an application called ELISA, and that application was like an AI application because it chat with people, and people thought that the computer was emotional. And the great things in that is that the questions Elisa did were only questions. For example, the participants say, "I'm not good today." "Oh, you say you are not good today. Why? What happened to you?" And questions, just questions. And people found that very, very connectional and very emotional. It was, I was amazed because that's what a coach does. The coach does
Absolutely.
questioning and listening. And it was in 1966. I was amazed with that data. I asked Claude that AI. I asked about Elisa, and I asked what was a typical chat with Elisa. And it says like that, when asking questions, it's all asking questions. And the participant, and yes, was very
like psychologists do.
Yeah, like a psychologist. It was really great, and just wanted to share with you with this wonderful panel, and thanks everyone for joining and for contributing to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Over to you, Grace, to share your experience and hand over the certificates. Grace, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to, I really, really appreciate the work the ladies are putting to really come out with this article. Reading through it, I could see the depth of research, the depth of, questioning and wanting to collect data to really bring credibility to the article. I think it's one of my favorite in all of the articles. Reason being for the fact, the depth of conversation, the depth of research, the depth of the questionnaires as well. I saw at some point the article really needed some alignment, and the Priya and Henrik had to do some really good work to bring it to alignment. Forgive us for our critique, right? But it helped bring the good wine out of the article, really. It's really, really, really an enriching read for me, and I'm really glad you guys found time to really put this together. Years from now, I'm sure people will look back and really, when they surf the net and come across the article, they will really be grateful for an incredible set of women from across the world that came together, put energies together, time and effort and research, and brought this beautiful piece out. I'm really grateful for the structure. It was just a thorough and thoroughly beautiful flow of writing. Thank you so much. So at this point, I would be handing over the cert to all of you for an incredible job. Well done. First would be Sandra. Is Sandra here? Hello, Sandra. Well done.
Hi, I am here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
I really appreciate
the time. Such beautiful ladies. So we'll be handing the certificate over to Sandra. Thank you. And next would be Agnieszka Krogulek. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name properly.
That's good. That's good. Very good. Thank you.
Incredible job. Well done. And the conversation here was really good. Thank you for so much energy you put into this. Thank you so much. It was really good listening to you. Next,
thank you, Grace. Thank you so much.
Would be Veronica Maria. Veronica, are you here? Hello, Veronica Morales.
Morales, yes.
Morales.
My last name is missing.
Apologies, but thank you. That doesn't take away from the good work you've done here. We love you, really. Thank you so much for bringing your knowledge and experience and everything to bear. And Henry K. Mariano, he just left. Thank you so much for being a good mentor, for being a listening mentor. I see the work you did with Priya, and we just love you all at Women Power Up Network. Thank you for doing such an incredible job for the world. This is a masterpiece. Congratulations once again to you all. And how could I forget Carol? Hello, Carol. Carol and Really. Thank you for moderating this, for the time, the effort, the energy. I see your conversations on on WhatsApp. Really, we have one thing in common, and that was watching Machina Ex Machina. So
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, thank you all ladies, beautiful ladies. Over back to you, Priya. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. And with this, we are going to wrap up our event for today. Do let us know what you think about the event. Share your feedback so that we can improve event after event. Read our articles. If you want to contribute, you have the link. You can express interest. We are always looking for co-authors, mentors, and even people to help us out, give ideas, and make this community even more vibrant. And we will see you again next month with another collaborative article. And this one is going to be really, really interesting. It's on AI and how it can improve your cultural intelligence. So watch this space for more. And there'll be a webinar like this again to share the insights of that article. And at the end of the year, we are hoping to publish a book out of these articles. So watch our social media page and, let us know how we can improve. Till then, we'll see you again next month. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and good night. Good night from my side. Good day to all of you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
everyone. It was
That's a
lovely. Thank you,
pleasure.
Priya. Thank
It
you,
was a great
Cecilia.
pleasure to
Thank
talk
you.
with
Grace.
Thank you.
We will
Thank you,
wait
Thank you.
everyone.
Great
you
job.
for
for
a
a group
great
photo.
facilitation.
Wait for a group photo. Cecilia, can we
Yes,
take a
please.
group photo?
Yes.
Yes.
Stop the
Right.
recording. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, whoever can come on camera, please come so that we can take a group photo.
Hi, Grace. I haven't seen you before. Good to see
Oh,
you.
Grace, I thought even
We have two
Grace
Graces.
Oh my
Grace Barcenat is from Mexico, from Latin
I know.
America.
Hi, Grace.
Two
There are so
Graces
many
here.
Grace here. Let me take the picture first. Okay, I did.
Yes.
You also
Yes,
did?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right.